The desert wind howled across the lonely land as a young woman wandered aimlessly, her heart heavy with pain and hopelessness. She had lost everything, her family, her home, and her will to keep going. Tears streamed down her dusty face as she whispered to the empty sky that she no longer wanted to live. Every step felt heavier than the last, as if the earth itself was pulling her down into darkness. Exhausted, she collapsed near a rocky hill, ready to give up. The silence around her was deep and frightening, broken only by the sound of her weak sobs. Just when she thought her story was about to end, a distant figure appeared. It was a strong Apache warrior, returning from a long journey across the desert. He noticed the fragile figure lying on the ground and rushed toward her without hesitation. The warrior saw the pain in her eyes and the emptiness in her voice when she begged him to leave her alone. Instead of walking away, he gently wrapped her in a warm blanket and gave her water. His kindness confused her. She had forgotten that compassion still existed in the world. Slowly, he carried her back to his village, where she could rest and heal. In the village, the elders and families welcomed her with open hearts. They shared food, stories, and laughter, reminding her that she was not alone. Days turned into weeks, and the woman began to regain her strength. She learned new skills, helped the children, and started to feel a sense of purpose she thought was lost forever. One evening, sitting beside a glowing fire, she finally told the warrior about her painful past and the loneliness that had consumed her. He listened patiently, never judging her tears or fears. He told her that even the strongest people sometimes lose their way, but hope can return when someone chooses to care. Gradually, the woman realized that life still held meaning. The warmth of the village, the kindness of strangers, and the warrior's unwavering support showed her that her story was not over. She began to smile again, finding joy in small moments, sunrises over the desert, children's laughter, and peaceful nights under the stars. Months later, she stood stronger and more confident than before. She decided to stay in the village and help others who felt lost and broken, just like she once had. The warrior's simple act of compassion had changed her destiny, reminding her that even in the darkest moments, a single person's kindness can bring someone back from the edge of despair. Her journey taught her that life is full of unexpected turns, and sometimes hope arrives when you least expect it. The desert that once felt like a prison now looked like a place of new beginnings. And every day, she carried forward the lesson that saving one life can change many more. Life in the village slowly transformed the woman into someone she barely recognized, in the best possible way. Each morning she woke before sunrise, helping prepare food and greeting the children who ran happily through the dusty paths. The once lonely stranger had become a trusted friend and a source of comfort for many. She listened to people's worries, shared encouraging words, and reminded others that even the hardest days could pass. One afternoon, a group of travelers arrived seeking shelter after a long journey. Among them was a young boy who refused to speak or smile. He sat alone, staring at the ground just like she once had. Seeing his sadness, she gently approached him and offered a small carved toy she had made. At first he ignored her, but she stayed patient, sitting quietly beside him. Over the next few days, he slowly began to open up, and the first time he laughed, the entire village seemed brighter. The Apache warrior who had once saved her watched her growth with quiet pride. He noticed how people gathered around her for advice and how her presence brought peace to difficult moments. One evening, while they walked along the edge of the desert, he told her how much strength she carried inside. She realized that his kindness had not only rescued her, it had inspired her to become someone who could help others stand again. Soon, the elders invited her to lead gatherings where people shared their stories and supported one another. Around the fire, villagers spoke openly about their struggles and dreams. The woman encouraged everyone to look forward instead of dwelling on past pain. She reminded them that every person had value and a role to play in the community. Seasons changed, and with time came new challenges. A severe storm threatened the village, damaging homes and frightening the children. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, she helped organize teams to repair shelters and gather supplies. Her calm leadership brought people together, and they rebuilt stronger than before. Through teamwork and hope, the village not only survived but grew closer. One quiet night, as she gazed at the endless stars, she reflected on her journey. The desert that once symbolized loneliness now represented resilience and growth. She understood that healing was not a single moment but a series of small steps taken every day. Gratitude filled her heart, for the warrior's compassion, for the community's acceptance, and for her own courage to keep moving forward. Years later, she became known as a wise and caring leader. Travelers came from distant lands seeking guidance, and she welcomed them with the same kindness she once received. Her story spread as a reminder that people can rebuild their lives and find new purpose through connection and empathy. Standing beside the warrior and the villagers she now called family, she realized that her life had become a story of hope and renewal. The strength she found within herself inspired others to believe in second chances. And as the desert wind carried her laughter across the land, she knew that her journey had only just begun, filled with endless possibilities and the promise of brighter tomorrows.